I saw that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I worry about that.
Doubt about that. There's no question marks. I mean, you look back to what happened at White Hart Lane all those years ago with Michael Watson, and health and safety and the security of boxers. That's
has officially been canceled. It is off. It is not.
Fight canceled. Conor Benn's failed drug test has shaken the entire boxing world. Eddie Hearn emphasizes fairness, but the rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. is officially off. The promotion team is now racing against time to find a replacement while fans are left in disbelief.
On the paper, but all I'm saying is give him an opportunity, right, for things to be heard. And in this situation, someone said the other day that sometimes when you fail a drugs test, it's not innocent till proven guilty.
The fight didn't happen and the event had to be canceled. The decision was seen as 100% the right call because a promotion so heavily invested can't risk complications. Conor Benn's failed drug test left Chris Eubank Jr. without an opponent and fans stunned.
You know, that didn't happen, and they felt like they had to cancel the event. For the record, I feel like this was 100% the right call. You can't be a promotion that is so heavily invested.
Frank Warren is explaining that at the moment, Conor Benn is coping with a massive setback. His camp has requested time before he can defend the title, and everyone is watching closely to see what happens next. Chris Eubank Jr. now waits while the situation unfolds.
His camp have written to asked him for a period of time to before they have to defend the title. So we will see what happens.
Eddie Hearn confirmed that Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn has been officially postponed. The announcement shocked fans as Benn's failed drug test forced the cancellation, and now Eubank Jr. must wait for clarity while discussions for a replacement opponent begin.
But obviously we wanted to come here today and formally announce that Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn has been officially postponed.
Johnny Nelson says an inquiry is urgently needed after Conor Benn's failed drug test. The news broke suddenly and has everyone talking. Something serious is clearly at play, and Chris Eubank Jr. now faces uncertainty while the investigation unfolds.
Unfortunately, there is going to be there needs to be an inquiry straight after this. Why, what? But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place.
Adam Smith reflects that Conor Benn was favored to win, and most believed he would find a way to compete. Now with the fight canceled due to the failed drug test, expectations are shattered, and Chris Eubank Jr. remains ready while the sport waits for the next move.
Doing things we don't expect him to do, right? Okay, he was favored to win. Most of us thought he'd find a way.
Frank Warren highlights how Conor Benn is understandably pissed off after the fight cancellation. He trained hard and invested heavily in camp, sparring, and preparation only to face a massive financial loss. Chris Eubank Jr. watches as the situation leaves Benn very disappointed.
Well, he's pissed off. I mean, it was a big fight. He's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. You imagine the cost involved in a training camp, booking places to set the camp up, bringing the sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers and everybody, and you don't get paid. It's a massive loss. You can't insure it, or if you do, it costs a fortune to insure. But very, very disappointed.
Chris Eubank Jr. says he has nothing to prove, and the pressure is on Conor Benn, not him. Benn must avenge his previous loss, while Eubank Jr. remains calm and confident, watching as the failed drug test adds even more pressure on his rival.
The pressure's on him, not me. I mean, there's pressure on me, but nothing like what he's experiencing right now. He has to avenge his loss. I took his own. He wants to
Teddy Atlas points out that Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are now under serious pressure to find a suitable replacement for Chris Eubank Jr. With Conor Benn out due to the failed drug test, the entire rematch scenario is in limbo. Eubank Jr. has trained hard, and fans are expecting a quality fight. Atlas emphasizes that this is a pivotal moment for the promoters as they scramble to maintain credibility and deliver a compelling matchup for the audience, while Eubank Jr. patiently waits for clarity and a new opponent to emerge.
To Frank Warren, of course, starting with Turkey Al-Sheikh, to find that level of...
Johnny Nelson clarifies that rumors of poisoning and fake news were circulating around the Conor Benn fight. While speculation was rampant, Nelson insists we can only react to verified facts. Chris Eubank Jr. remains unaffected by the noise as the focus shifts toward legitimate updates and ensuring a fair and competitive replacement fight.
Something popped up and said it's fake news that the fight was off and all this sort of stuff was going on about some poisoning, scandal, foolishness, and they tried to shut this thing down. And I'm saying that's fake news. I'm not having that. So let's wait and see. If it's true, that's a shame.
Chris Eubank Jr. calls out Conor Benn, saying the act is transparent and his defense mechanisms are failing. The failed drug test only reinforces Eubank Jr.'s point that Benn is struggling under pressure. Fans can see the contrast as Eubank Jr. stays composed and focused on the bigger picture while Benn's credibility is in question.
He's playing himself. People know who he is and what he's about. People see through the act. He's not a nice guy. He's not a calm guy. He doesn't like me. It's all a facade. It's all a defense mechanism. And it's not working for him.
Frank Warren compares Conor Benn's situation to a criminal case, highlighting that consequences must be faced before moving forward. The failed drug test has created serious doubts and only reinforces Chris Eubank Jr.'s dominant position. Warren stresses accountability while Eubank Jr. remains ready to fight a fully prepared opponent.
I can see where they're coming from, but the fact of the matter is, it's like if you go to prison, you're found guilty of a crime, you go to prison, you serve your sentence, and the slate gets wiped clean.
John Fury emphasizes the seriousness of Conor Benn's failed drug test in a dangerous sport. While the principle of innocent until proven guilty stands, the cancellation affects everyone, leaving Chris Eubank Jr. ready and focused. Fury's remarks underline the potential career impact for Benn, while Eubank Jr.'s preparation remains uninterrupted and sharp.
If Conor Benn's been using, ban the fucker. Ban him. Because it's a dangerous sport, whatever they do and whatever they don't, but I'm having no opinion on it at all. You know, a man's innocent till proven guilty.
Duke McKenzie reflects on Conor Benn's failed drug test as a major disappointment to his father's legacy. Chris Eubank Jr. has nothing to prove, but Benn's actions have cast a shadow over the sport. Fans are witnessing a situation where preparation, integrity, and respect for boxing history collide. McKenzie stresses that while the past fights were legendary, this scandal is a step backward and underscores why Eubank Jr. remains focused and ready. Benn's choices are being scrutinized while Eubank Jr. continues his disciplined preparation, showing a sharp contrast between professionalism and controversy in modern boxing.
Now what he's done, it's like a slap in the face for his dad. His dad was an absolute warrior. I remember his dad well fighting, and he was an absolute warrior, and some of the fights he had will go down in boxing history as being some of the most savage fights ever. I don't think his dad ever got done for anything illegal. And to me, it's just wrong.
Tony Jeffries highlights that this rematch is high stakes and deeply personal. Chris Eubank Jr. has the motivation and composure to dominate while Conor Benn's credibility is on the line after failing a drug test. The cancellation has added tension and uncertainty, but it also emphasizes Eubank Jr.'s professionalism and readiness to capitalize on any opportunity. Jeffries paints a picture of a fight that could define careers and reputations, with Eubank Jr.'s focus and discipline contrasting sharply with Benn's turmoil. Every fan watching knows this is not just a fight, it is a test of character, legacy, and who truly deserves the spotlight in the super welterweight division.
This would sell out any stadium in the UK. I was going to see it in the world there, but probably not in America because that many people wouldn't fly over. It would sell out a lot. But the fight location still hasn't been announced yet, but I do know that it's going to be on September 20th. Now,
Bomac emphasizes Chris Eubank Jr.'s determination to leave no doubts about his dominance. After the rematch cancellation due to Conor Benn's failed drug test, Eubank Jr. remains laser focused, training harder and pushing limits in camp. Every move he makes is designed to show he is a complete professional who can handle pressure while Benn struggles with his reputation. The trainer's guidance and Eubank Jr.'s discipline reflect a fighter who is mentally strong, motivated, and ready to make a statement when the next opportunity arises. Fans are witnessing a man committed to excellence, while the failed test only amplifies the contrast between preparation and controversy.
I think Chris is, he want to put a stamp on the win. That's what he definitely want to do. He want to put his stamp on it. And I can see it. I can see the way he trained in camp, and that's what the trainer wants. You want to see the fighter, man, push extra and push more.
Johnny Nelson highlights that Chris Eubank Jr. has reached a point where his skills are honed and perfected, while Benn's youth and confidence could have been factors if the fight had happened. With the rematch canceled due to the failed drug test, Eubank Jr. avoids the risk of facing an unpredictable and potentially reckless opponent. Nelson's commentary underscores that Eubank Jr.'s preparation and skill outweigh Benn's raw energy and youth, leaving Eubank Jr. in complete control mentally and physically. Fans are left to speculate how Ben would have performed under scrutiny, while Eubank Jr.'s reputation remains untarnished and ready for the next challenge.
Personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left. You've got there's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left for Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap, get an outcome in his second fight?
The fallout from Conor Benn's failed drug test has sent shockwaves through the boxing world and left Chris Eubank Jr. in a unique position. With the rematch canceled, Eubank Jr. has maintained his focus and discipline, showing fans exactly why he is one of the most professional and mentally tough fighters in the division. Benn's reputation and credibility are under scrutiny, while Eubank Jr. continues to train, push his limits, and prepare for any replacement opponent that comes his way. This situation underscores the difference between a fighter who is dedicated to his craft and one whose choices create controversy. The next fight could define Eubank Jr.'s career further, as he seeks to solidify his dominance, prove his skills, and show that setbacks caused by an opponent's missteps do not derail his momentum. Fans are left to speculate who will step in, how Eubank Jr. will respond, and whether Benn will ever regain his standing in the sport. One thing is clear, Chris Eubank Jr. is ready for anything, mentally and physically prepared to make a statement in the ring. Are you backing Chris Eubank Jr. to remain untouchable, or do you think Conor Benn can recover and shock?